Okay, let's just dive right into this. The year is 2026, and look, if you're on the job hunt right now, you already know the game has completely changed. You're not just trying to charm a hiring manager anymore. No, you are up against a highly sophisticated algorithmic gatekeeper. Honestly, it can kind of feel like you're playing a video game where the rules are just hidden from you. But hey, that is exactly why I'm here. Think of this explainer as your ultimate video game cheat code. We're going to beat the system, outsmart the algorithms, and get you ready to win that final human boss battle.
Here's our game plan for the explainer today. 1. The 2026 hiring landscape. 2. Decoding the AI gatekeeper. 3. Beating AI auto-rejections. 4. The reverse interview strategy. And finally, 5. Sealing the deal. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The 2026 hiring landscape. So, we have to face the cold, hard data right out of the gate. Get this, a massive 87% of companies are now using AI in their recruiting processes. I mean, wow. And this isn't some far-off future prediction, right? This is the reality right now. Your very first conversation for a new role is almost certainly not going to be with a human recruiter. It's going to be with an algorithm.
The whole hiring funnel has just completely transformed. The old days of walking into an office, handing over a crisp resume, relying on a firm handshake, and maybe popping a breath mint, yeah, that's dead. The 2026 reality is an exhausting gauntlet of resume parsers, automated keyword scoring, and these multi-stage virtual video screens. It is non-stop, and it leaves so many candidates scratching their heads wondering what the company actually even wants.
Which brings us to Section 2. Decoding the AI gatekeeper.
Look, if you're feeling anxious about all this, you're not alone. It's totally normal. In fact, almost half of all candidates, about 49.3%, fear the lack of human connection in these AI interviews. And another 46.5%, they're absolutely terrified of being misunderstood by the machine. But you know what? Knowing this is incredibly empowering. Why? Because it lets us strategize. Instead of fearing the AI, we're just going to learn to speak its language.
Okay, so here's the absolute secret to all of this. The AI, it literally does not care if you're sweating. It doesn't care if you're nervous or if you lack traditional charisma. Humans judge those things. Algorithms don't. These modern AI systems are entirely blind to your physical appearance. Instead, they're strictly programmed to reward pure substance. They're looking for content relevance, your use of specific job description keywords, and whether your answers follow a logical structure. So it's not about putting on a performance anymore. It's just about demonstrating competence.
Moving on to Section 3. Beating AI auto-rejections.
So how do we actually feed the machine exactly what it wants to guarantee you advance? Well, this right here is the difference between an instant auto-rejection and moving forward. Say you give a generic answer, something like, I improved a reporting process. The AI scores you poorly because, well, it lacks data. But a structured STAR answer, situation, task, action, result, that mathematically beats the algorithm every single time. Saying, I built a Python script that reduced the 12-hour task to 90 minutes, saving 92% time, gives the AI the exact quantifiable metrics it's scraping for. Boom, instant points.
Now, to consistently deliver those high-scoring answers, you got to follow 4 golden rules. First up, the 3S rule. Make sure every single answer is specific, skills-focused, and supported with real examples. Second, timing. Timing is everything. Don't just give a one-sentence answer, but also definitely don't ramble for 5 minutes. The sweet spot the AI expects is right around 1.5 to 2 minutes. And finally, you have got to perfect your tech armor. Technical glitches, choppy audio, or having your camera pointing straight up your nose, those are the #1 preventable reasons top candidates fail. Just keep that camera at eye level and make absolutely sure you have a minimum of 10 megabits per second upload speed.
And honestly, here is the plot twist. Once you actually master these inputs, the AI kind of becomes your best friend. The data shows that 47.9% of candidates actually prefer AI interviews once they get used to the format. And it makes sense, right? It completely bypasses weeks of annoying recruiter ghosting. You feed the machine what it wants, and it gives you a definitive answer in just 48 hours. No waiting around.
All right, Section 4, the reverse interview strategy.
Okay, so now you're facing the final boss, a panel of actual human beings. Now, most candidates walk into a human interview totally desperate for approval, just hoping they say the right things to get picked. But this data completely shatters that old scarcity mindset. A 2025 Korn Ferry workforce survey proved that top executives who actively question their interviewers were significantly more likely to land the offer. Think about that. Top performers don't just sit there and answer, they interview their interviewer. It builds this mutual attraction. When you evaluate them just as hard as they're evaluating you, you instantly appear so much more valuable.
And this strategy builds into a really brilliant 5-step framework. You can use this to interrogate the company's culture and uncover any major red flags way before you ever accept an offer. You basically want to ask questions spanning these 5 categories: vision and direction, team dynamics, challenge and growth, leadership style, and overall company health. Doing this proves you aren't just desperate for a paycheck. You're looking for an environment where you can actually thrive and succeed.
So here are the exact power questions you should deploy. Try asking, what keeps you up at night about this role? That reveals their true pain points. Or, how has this position evolved? That shows you totally understand that dynamic markets require adaptable roles. And, my personal favorite, what does success look like in 90 days versus 12 months? By dropping these specific questions, you instantly position yourself as a strategic, C-suite level thinker. You're literally forcing the interviewer to sell the role to you.
And finally, Section 5, sealing the deal.
Now, just a quick word of caution as you go in to execute this playbook. Confidence is absolutely key, but you definitely do not want to come off as aggressive or confrontational. I mean, if you just go in and grill the interviewer, it's going to backfire. So keep the ratio balanced. Aim to spend roughly 70% of the human interview answering their questions thoughtfully, and reserve that remaining 30% for asking your strategic power questions. It shows you're a highly collaborative professional, not, a police interrogator.
Then, immediately post-interview, whether it was AI or human, you want to execute these 3 steps. First, within 1 hour, document your performance. Write down what questions they asked and exactly how you answered. Second, send a super concise 150-word targeted follow-up email reiterating a specific skill. And third, hey, if you do get rejected, gracefully pivot. Always ask for feedback. It shows a growth mindset and can easily turn a rejection today into a massive networking opportunity tomorrow.
I want to leave you with this final thought as you navigate the crazy 2026 hiring market. Are you just trying to win the job, or are you deciding if they actually deserve you? Because honestly, once you flip that switch in your head, once you realize that the AI is just a logic puzzle to solve and the human interview is just a mutual evaluation, everything changes. You stop being a desperate applicant and you start acting like the top-tier talent you actually are. Get out there and crush it.